Here we go, review time with your boy. Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the new EP from Kismet, Revenge of the Unicorns. This is the sophomore multi-track Never Say Die collection from none other than 15-year-old Kismet, who have shot to bass fame in the last couple of years with some of the most meticulously produced music in the scene. I must admit, up to this point, I'd found it difficult to properly get into much of it on the ideas front, talking in particular of the Character EP from last July and the other originals and remixes surrounding that. But lest that take away in any way from the production, which I've consistently found to be nothing short of mind-blowing. Unbelievably well cut, emotionally driven, an insane range of sounds on display, and assembled very carefully as well. You know, the kind of sharpness and detail you just see hardly anywhere else in bass music. The Character EP actually ended up placing as one of my favourite EPs of last year, which just tells you all you need to know for how amazing the production was, in spite of the ideas not being all that infectious. And so upon checking out Revenge of the Unicorns, I wondered simply whether there would be more memorable material than usual to go with the insane production. The answer being yes, another project brimming with detail here, but also more ideas and concepts to hang on to. You have the opener, Convulsion Therapy, with its very attention-grabbing vocal chopping, sounds firing off in all directions, dainty and delicate, but the roundedness of the production plus the musicality on top ensures it has a real affront to it, giving me really strong Eliminate Detox vibes. Moreover, the double drop following that, which is more pointed and devilish with a fantastic snare, also really owns the space it's in. We get a similarly powerful development on the second track, Flare, featuring Moore's mum, aptly named Mama Kismet. The first drop has a lovely glacial, icy feel to it, a wealth of amazing sounds on show as well, and the dynamic between everything here is just exceptional. Definitely moments where even more could have been added in and more gaps filled. I think the kicks also feel pretty overblown, but as with Convulsion Therapy before it and a lot of other stuff here, I think above all else you do just have to marvel at the crispness of it and how it's all put together. The second drop though, as I mentioned, is a great development and easily one of my favourite sequences on the whole EP. The fake out sounds like taking a punch to the head and being brought back into consciousness, which is quite a powerful way to kick off, as you can imagine. And generally it's just a great switch, you know, the vocal sampling is tops, the musicality is reflective, and there are also these shimmering touches which are just so well done. Add to that preceding each drop is this stunning freeze frame piano moment that completely stops you in your tracks. It's beautiful. Second drop, the freeze frame moment, being knocked out, back into consciousness. Skipping forwards to the final third of the EP, we have two collaborations in Adore with Leotrix and Duplex with Vultra, both of which for me deliver impressive ideas but don't quite have the elite execution of the two just mentioned. I really enjoy the gravitas and flow of the former Adore, the management of timing and the quicken moments in particular are just so good. Also, the second drop Mutation with that staggered stop-start layout, the space is filled really well, and it's simply a good idea. But the main sound running through the heaviness gives it quite a droning and depressed feeling, which unfortunately I can't quite get on board with. Making that sound brighter or higher pitched with a more uplifting tone would have injected much more life into the tune overall, I think. Moving on from there, we have Duplex with Vultra, another case of brilliant idea, but the definition of sound not quite there. All this glitchy, computery detail is pretty mesmerising. Again, not only the sounds themselves, but also how they're brought together. I like the flow and swing of the second drop in particular, and overall just the amount on offer and how it's all assembled. It really is just nigh on ridiculous. But a lot of said sounds for me need fleshing out more and given the kind of high definition treatment, especially the percussion I would say, which I find quite flat for the most part, and other sounds here that just need bringing further to the front and maybe mixed a bit higher. Also the snare and the progression of each drop, which is the opposite end of the spectrum as something not flat at all but actually very impacted. The construction of sounds, the range of them in those progressions as well is amazing, but that snare just completely takes over and is quite distracting. Yeah, like some amazing stuff there, as you can hear, but that snare, you just can't ignore it. A tune not hugely dissimilar, which I think would be a good comparison, is Phone Tap by Space Laces, you know, also futuristic, glitchy, finely cut, but with a real percussive depth to back it up, and I think that would take Duplex to another level in my opinion. That leaves the middle of the EP, tracks 3 and 4, They Changed and Self-Expression respectively, which for me, ideas-wise, invention-wise, aren't quite as on point as the other 4. They Changed I do find interesting in that it sounds markedly different to pretty much everything else we get here. You know, not so much shiny and sharp and refined as swampy, grisly and a bit contorted, and a worthwhile direction for the EP to take at that point, I think. That doesn't mean, however, that it has enough for me to get into it as an idea. I can appreciate the definition of sound here, but the idea itself doesn't give off a lot, and it just doesn't feel as much like them in full flow. The double or middle drop here is fresh and kind of like a more alert and forthright version of the final drop on Convulsion Therapy to me actually. A great swagger to it and the sinewy background touches are exceptional. But it doesn't quite build on that momentum, you know, some vivid touches here and there, but mostly like their sound is being stifled, meaning that overall with They Changed, the not so good just about outweighs the good. Likewise with track 4, Self-Expression, practically immaculate production, but the ideas just don't really do that much. I appreciate the simplicity of the first drop, again in light of the madness we get elsewhere. A nice way of toning down the EP, if you get me. But there isn't a lot going on, and it feels a bit aimless to the extent I'm not entirely sure what they're going for. The second drop does well to pick it up, to be fair. The repetition of that jumpy, glitchy bit provides a real moment to hang on to here. But everything surrounding that, again, just feels a bit aimless and kind of like we're always waiting for that jumpy moment to happen again and again each time. These bits, you know, just muddling along and then... Oh, that is sick. Lest I reduce this EP to its heaviness, because oh my word, there is so much more to take in. I mean, where do I begin? Quite difficult in a way reviewing their music, as there are so many details, and I can't talk about them all of course, so I have to be a bit choosy. And I'm just going to pick some more highlights here, what with there being virtually no lowlights when it comes to extra detail. One for me that springs to mind instantly is the camera snapshot sound that we get before each drop in Convulsion Therapy. It works so well. Mama Kismet's vocal on Flare for me takes the perfect progression just at the end to elicit chills, and is perfectly pitched by Moore as well. My word, the ending vocal sample there is just so moving. You know, we all know by now how close a relationship they have, and it's fully felt there. On They Changed, I love the woozy vocal touches, and also the vocal sample leading into the double or middle drop is just so good. It's just so well done. The quivering wubs in the builds of Self-Expression, and also the deeper sounding wubs on Adore in combination with the strings, it's just such a good blend. And on Duplex, I mean, you could select any number of background flickers, giving it that really futuristic, technologic feel. On the note of Duplex, I would have to say my favourite introduction on the EP arrives on that cut, which is really saying something. I mean, they're all really well managed, but the first 5 are all varying levels of blissful, dreamy, soothing, alluring, and then in comes Duplex with its cyber-rave appeal, kind of like the beginning of an intergalactic voyage or something like that. It's all serious and powerful with fantastic musicality and percussion on top, and yeah, it just really stands out as the final opening here, no doubt. I feel like I'm in a spaceship. The midsection on Duplex I also find very clever, you know, as the original melody spirals down and a new one emerges, you know, kind of like welcoming in a new chapter for the track, a new battle awaiting them, and introducing the final leg of the EP very astutely. Also of note on the midsection front would be Self-Expression, which is perspective and alive before again winding down and welcoming in something warmer and a bit more time-stopping. The sense of care in the relationship between sections here is really really felt. The pinprick strings section in They Changed is very sweet, but it does lead to a pretty odd sounding midway point before building again, and the midsection of Flare reintroduces a beat from the intro that feels distinctly out of time with everything else, and in turn just comes across as a bit disruptive. To me, that feels out of beat, but is it just me? But I mean, as is clear here, I could go on and on talking about specific sections and details, and you know, by this point, I think I've covered a lot of ground. Fact of the matter is that with Revenge of the Unicorns, whilst there is still definitely room to improve, undeniable, which isn't the worst thing in the world when you think about how much time they have ahead of them. More than anything, I come away from another More Kismet project pretty astonished by the production levels. You know, this is outstanding talent. I really could go on for hours talking about how clean and crisp everything is, how colourful and defined the production is overall. How many other producers can I say that for? Just so many amazing sounds and samples that make perfect sense in their placement and execution that it's undeniably the main draw of the EP. I must say, it is another EP for me of moments and snippets to admire than whole ideas luring me in, and there are a few instances here where it's difficult to get fully engaged in it when it comes to the melodic progression, you know, particularly in the heaviness. But at the same time, the ideas are undoubtedly more advanced than before, more memorable, and they've clearly improved on that front. The aim now going forward, I think, is for even more of that. The quality of sound is locked in now for even more catchiness and stickiness with the ideas. Would absolutely love to hear their sound in different genres, more collaborations, different structures. The world really is their oyster, like few others in this scene, because the foundation is completely in place. You know, even the flatter ideas here, they still manage to make completely captivating sonically. I'm thinking of They Changed and Self-Expression here in particular on that front. Always something creeping around the corner to snap the listener right back in. The length of these tunes is great as well, you know, each one with a sense of story and progression to it, and always a willingness to push their sound further at all times. Of course, as mentioned, improvements can be made, no question, but in so many aspects here, whether it be sound design, assembling of sounds, the emotion running through it, and a lot more. It's a masterclass, straight up. There is stuff to work on, but once again here, More Kismet have proven themselves to be one of the most forward-thinking minds in bass music, and at just 15. Now, in terms of my favourite on the EP, then I think I would have to go with Convulsion Therapy, my favourite heaviness overall, and my favourite style on the EP as well, with the vocal chopping and a great intro and outro, amazing sounds. Yeah, it is good. And in terms of recommendations, if you enjoyed the EP, I did hear a track from an artist called Self-Worth recently. Honestly, it's there's so much likeness it could even be More Kismet. But yeah, well worth a listen. Check it out, I'll link it below. But there we have it, my thoughts on the new EP from More Kismet, released on Never Say Die Records, Revenge of the Unicorns. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. What did you guys make of the EP? I know it's been out a few days now, almost a week, but yeah, having heard it a few times, what do you make of it? Which track of the 6 is your pick? Let me know all of your views, thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell along the way so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video to the channel, and my social media accounts and the new Discord server are linked below as well. And if you want to find some other EP reviews on the channel, I will link them right here. But beyond that, keep it naughty. If it's naughty, then you know. And I will see all of you legends in the next one. Peace.